Hello and welcome to the show. Today we're back on a car mechanic simulator, but I'm not going to be heading to the junkyard. Instead, we're actually going to have a look at the car auctions, because there will be vehicles that are going to turn up there that we perhaps haven't seen in the junkyard. Certainly some more of the kind of modern cars that we might find to work on. And yeah, I'm generally going to have a look. Auction cars do tend to be more expensive, but they will be complete in relatively decent condition. So yeah, we're going to kind of, rather than like a full-on restore, we're going to improve, shall we say, something. Who knows what we might find at the auction house today, but yeah, could be some interesting cars. Well, I shall be honest. On the most part, I thought this was going to be a complete bust. However, you'll notice the car at the very bottom of that list. The BMW 850. Yeah, I want one of them. Don't really care much about the other ones, not a huge amount of excitement there. But the 850, that is what we will go for. Well, of the vehicles that have been going through here so far, 3-star is the lowest quality that they will come across. The BMW certainly looks the rustiest of cars that we have seen. There have been a couple of very nice condition cars come through, so I mean, work is going to need to be done on this car. There is no doubt about that. It is starting off at 23,000. I don't know how high it is going to go. It reckons the car is valued at 40,000 in its current condition. I will naturally be bidding until I win the car. I have got 10.5 million, and it's not likely to quite break the bank there. However, yeah, I would like to get the car cheaply. However, this is just the click war with the AIs. Come on, give up. Please give up on the rusty BMW. I mean, I'm like looking at the bidders going on, and hey, we won it for a fraction more than it is valued at. I don't know whether the AI always go to that far, whether the AI give up at earlier points, or quite how it works. We'll send it back to the garage. I think that's the auction over as well. Okay, so here we are back in our garage with the BMW. Ooh, it's got it's got an interesting way of doing the engine. I like that. That's clever. Make it look the part. So it's still got underneath the usual engine that you would find in a car in Car Mechanic Simulator, but the cover. That's a really clever way of doing it. That is a really clever way of doing it, making it look the part. Elsewhere, I mean, it looks horrible. It looks like it's been sat in a junkyard for quite some time, but it will all be complete. In fact, this is all the way from Belarus. It does have Belarus plates all around. Never quite sure with the cars here. Let's go and stick it on a lifter then. I mean, the first order of business, naturally, welder. Let's go and sort out the BMW. Use the equipment on the BMW. That should, well, fix it to an extent. Let's get off the various bits of bodywork. Yeah, I mean, it's oh, the whole thing comes off in one go. Sure. Of the auction house cars, as I said, this is not exactly. Oh, it's actually got a removable sunroof. I like it. I like that a lot. We'll get the bonnet off. We will get the headlights off. I'm going to assume pop-up headlights are currently not a thing that can work on cars in this game as of the moment, so I will assume that they're going to be stuck permanently down. However, yeah, on the most part, this works pretty well for the cars that I have that I've seen with pop-up headlights. Often they can be a little bit glitchy depending on how they are attached to stuff. I mean, running gear-wise, everything is okay, but everything's going to need to come off anyway. Like, it's not necessarily this is going to be, I guess, a more time-consuming rebuild in some regards, because we are going to have to pull everything off the car. Like the junkyard cars, okay, well, running gear-wise, they have everything. They're often missing large parts of the engine. This will have everything. It's just not in particularly good condition, any of it. So, oh, I've got to lift it up, of course, don't we? You can go up into the sky. We'll pull off all of the running gear stuff. Then it'll come a case of pulling the engine out. Now, the advantage, of course, with this BMW is that the engine we've got in this is going to hopefully get plenty of power. It isn't the supercharged version, no, so it's not quite going to be getting, I think about 1,300 the supercharged engines can get, but it's still going to get plenty of power. We can make the most of the performance parts, of course, going into this one, so we can make it potentially the fastest car that we have. I say potentially, because it is only a potential, because I'll have to try and keep control of the damn thing. Because the high-powered V8 cars, rather terrifying handful when it comes to trying to negotiate your way around a corner. On the racetrack, they tend to be a little bit awkward. I've also got a kitten batting at my... Why are you batting at my foot? I sit here every day. What is it that is so fascinating, or just wanting attention? Is that what it is? Are you wanting attention, Amara? I'll just continue to pull bits off the BMW. It's fine. It's like working on autopilot. This one. Steering rack does also slightly go through the engine, and the oil filter slightly through the chassis. I mean, there's only small bits of concern, really, with all of that. Just the smallest bits of concern. It's the yeah, when it comes to making modded cars and so on for here, you've got to kind of work around with the bits that you have available to you. And what you can put where inside the vehicle. So occasionally you end up with stuff with a little bit of phasing through going on, which we do seem to have here with the exhaust. Yeah, the cats don't quite connect up to the exhaust pipes and so on. See, it's really interesting seeing the various ways around people have worked, like trying to get the proper exhaust position for cars. This one here is not got the fancy workarounds for the exhaust. It kind of just settles for having them slightly misaligned. However, we have seen things like the Shelby Daytona, for example, has like the exhausts coming out of the engine go into like a bodywork piece to get it to look the part, and has like the side exit exhausts as essentially the fenders or the side skirts and so on. So yeah, there are some really interesting workarounds to get things looking the part. On the whole, I mean, these played around with lots of mod cars now, and half the time you can't tell which ones are mods and which ones aren't, just from looking at them. When you start going into the real details, you can sometimes with them, some of them have got little bits slightly wonky with them, but on the whole, yeah, they are mighty impressive, the mods that we have been getting for this game. Right, we've got lots and lots of rear suspension arm bits. This is a faff, really, taking off all of this. But it is all going to be in good enough condition, which means when we come to put it back together again, I shouldn't have to be buying too much. Shouldn't have to be buying too much at all for this, with a 99% chance of fixing components, working on the assumption we will have probably a couple of hundred components in here. We would only expect to break 3 or 4 of them. Admittedly, this is with my... sorry, it's a 95% chance, isn't it? Never mind. It's a 95% chance to start with, and then a 99% once they got slightly repaired, I believe. And sometimes it does take 2 or 3 clicks to repair stuff. So, probability speaking, we're probably going to lose 10 or 15 parts. But that will be, because we've got everything here, and everything will be in good enough condition to repair, it'll be better than we have seen in previous builds. Which is good. We're not quite going to get... I don't think we could ride our luck enough to get everything repaired. But you never know. You never know. Got to think positively. It's kind of a shame that while we do have, kind of performance engine parts, I was still hoping to see that we would get some performance handling bits and performance suspension. A lot of the cars that we have been driving around so far have been a little bit on the wobbly side, to say the least, and it would be interesting to see the ability to give the cars... Now, I don't know what this BMW is going to be like, of course, having not driven it. I probably should have gone and tested it. It would have been a clever idea to go and test the car first and see what lap time, and then give it some performance bits and see how that did lap time. And that would have been the sensible thing to do, but instead I just dove straight into pulling everything off the car, as I do. So... yeah, I don't know if this is going to be a Wobblemobile. A couple of cars have been better. It is going to be a very powerful car when I'm finished with it, which will probably make it quite the handful. That's all of the running gear done. Let's drop that down. There is going to be a crane over here. You can go to lifter A. We will yoink the engine out. Engine can go on the stand over here with a... there we go. That's the ticket. Oh, careful now. That will sit there. Let's go and move you back again. Place equipment back. Right, so that is everything. Not quite everything done. Ah, the good old clips are around. Are around. I managed to misclick on that one. That was impressive work by me, managing to fail to take off clips. Air filter is pretty buggered. There will be a performance version of that at some point. Oh wow, we've got 2 air filters. Okay, it's the first time we've had a car with 2 filters. Now that's good news in terms of making more power. I mean, it's only going to be a few percent, but a few percent on a car like this could be, you know, 20, 30 horsepower. That might be a little bit too much, but, you know, an extra air filter means an extra performance part that we can fit in the vehicle, and I'm not going to complain at that. Batteries out, I think brake servo is the last thing to get. Maybe I already grabbed it. Don't know. Radiator fan, you can come out. Radiator, you can come out. Did I? Okay, no, it's not got brake servo. Because it's got ABS and all of that kind of stuff on there. Right, and the rest of the bits and pieces in the engine bay are all non-functioning in as far as this game goes. Right, fantastic. All of that back there is done. Let's go and take out the interior steering wheel and both of the seats. Right, so normal mode it is. We will go and... Where's the interior detail kit? Let's go put the welder back, otherwise we'll be tripping over all of the crap we leave around the car. Move you over to lifter A. You can... we can use that. Sort out the interior. Not that it was in terrible condition. Good, the back seats aren't also something that we have to worry about. They are kind of inbuilt to the car. Fantastic. So, everything pulled out. Everything pulled out of the BMW. Let's go and take a look at the engine. I mean, it's not the nicest condition engine. This one, of course, has got ignition coils. Again, we've got 8 ignition coils in this, each of which is going to be able to give us a performance boost. I think we've got 2 fuel rails, we get a performance boost out of those. It is a shame, it's a real shame that we don't have a supercharged. The option to convert is even to a supercharged if we wanted to. And it is a shame that we don't have a V12 was in the 850, wasn't it? V12 engine? Yeah, would have been... It would be nice to have a V12 to build to be put in the car. Again, it's just working with what there is in the game currently. You can't do much about custom engines at the moment. I don't know whether we ever will see custom engines. Yeah, it would be nice to see V12s. I have seen... I mean, there is W12 parts around. However, not sort of currently buyable in the game. I've seen a couple of cars that actually had W12, like mods that have gone with W12s. Which bit do I need to take off? It's that roller there that we need to get rid of to get the belts off. Yeah, sorry, I have seen a couple of mods that come with W12 engines, and the only way you can kind of like repair, restore the cars is to like buy new ones, whether they be from the dealership, whether they be from the auction house and so on. Because I think the W12 parts even got removed from the junkyard, because you're not supposed to be able to get them yet, because the cars that they are for, which would be the Bentley, is not currently in. So I did kind of slightly wonder whether the BMW might have had one of those engines. It's probably better to go with the V8, because there probably was a V8 option with the 850. I don't know too much about the 850s. I like them. They're cool. They're cool looking cars. Never really be able to get that gooder ones in Forza, but... My main experience with them is building them for Forza. Yeah, never really had a huge amount of luck with getting those to work. Tend to be quite heavy. However, they are still pretty damn cool cars. Right, camshafts are off, and all of these spark plugs. Again, like the performance spark plugs we're going to get will add, I think it's like 0.1% horsepower. However, it's better than nothing. It is better than nothing, and we'll have 8 of them in this particular engine. I think we get performance... Oh, is it camshafts we get, or is it performance crankshaft we get? I don't know. If it's camshafts, I'll be okay. I say I'll be okay. I mean, it'll be good. We have 4 of them, so that's another extra percentage. We'll have performance heads and whatnot. I'm looking forward to having this utter monster of a car when it's finished, and how little control I am going to have over it. It is going to do its own thing, and there is going to be absolutely no telling it what to do. But there we go. Right, let's go and pull out all of the clutch bits and pieces. I don't even know if I have stuff hanging around. I probably have some good condition parts hanging around in my inventory, but I won't have I won't have performance parts hanging around in the inventory. This will be good, I guess, if I ever decide to do another kind of. I'll say another rebuild without going for performance parts, because I'm going to be building up an inventory of useful bits and pieces. Oopsie. There we go. Got crankshaft. Can we grab the pistons out through there? Yes, we can. Pistons are always a little bit difficult to click on. And rods will go out there. Ooh, come on now. Get rid of the pistons. Out both of those sides. Okay, the teardown on the car, not too bad. Worked on these vehicles, you know, the running gear before. Not for a little while, though. We have been tending to build the older style of vehicles. The good news with this newer car is, well, more power and a little bit simpler in terms of the engine. Not going to mess around with push rods and so on. Crankshaft done. Engine block is complete. Sorry, completely removed. Right, BMW is stripped down to the chassis. Let's just go have a look. Okay, so from the factory, 372 horsepower. I should think, I'm going to take a guess now that we can probably get. Could we get 700 horsepower out of it? I think I'm going to go 700. I reckon we. Perhaps not quite going to be able to get 100% gain, like double the power, but I think we can get fairly close. So yeah, I'm going to guess by the time we're done with the engine, we're going to be getting 700 horsepower in our BMW, which would be quite cool. Now comes the, well, extra long process of spam clicking, because it's basically every part on the car we're going to try and repair. So, yeah, I'll be back in a bit. Right, we are all done with the repairing. As expected, a few bits got broken, but I believe most of the important stuff is going to be here. Well, such as the engine block. That is a good start. Now, most of the other stuff that we're going to need. Well, I'll say that the other stuff we're going to need a lot. Oh, we're upside down. Didn't mean to do that. Whoopsie, and go round that way. Perfect. Right, a lot of the other bits and pieces that we're going to need, while things like the timing belts and so on are not going to be affected, we are going to go and take a look at the tuning shop with what parts we can buy. So we're going to need 2 air filters at some point for this. We will need an alternator. We will need 4 camshafts. Ooh, it's going to get expensive, but we need 4 of them. We will need 2 cats. We will need a clutch plate and a pressure plate. Engine heads, we're going to need 2 of the V8 ones. How much? Oh, these are 10% performance increase each. That's quite nice. Ooh, exhaust manifolds as well. V8 ones, we will need 2 of those. Not sure which front exhaust pipe we need, so we will come back to those. We will need a flywheel. Fuel filter, yes. Fuel pump, yes. Fuel rail MPI, I believe, is the one we're going to need. We need 2 of those. Another 3% from that. We need 8 of these, which is almost 8% performance. We won't need distributor. We will need wires for V8, I would assume. We could also, well, we need a couple of those. We will need 8 pistons. If anyone is doing the maths at home, well done for trying to calculate the percentage increase I'm going to have with all of these parts, assuming that I have got everything correct here. Oh, they are expensive exhaust bits. We need 2 of those. We will need 8 of these. And we will need a throttle for a V8. Now, I think that's everything. I feel like there should be an intake manifold for the V8, but it doesn't seem to be. Like the intake manifolds, they've only got a very limited selection for the performance ones. You've got the 2-carb, the inline 4 direct injection, the inline 4 multi-point injection, I think. I think I've remembered my acronyms correctly. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a... Unless I'm missing something. Because people were telling me, I think, was it when I was messing around with the our giant boat, that there was a manifold? It doesn't seem like there is. So, yeah, I don't know. Shame we can't go and install like a turbo, for an example, onto this, or the supercharger for that matter. Power steering pump. Let's go and stick on this. Yeah, I think this will be, of the engines that I built, this is one that has got the most possibility for improved parts. So that's going to be, yeah, pretty bloody effective. Do we have a repaired oil filter? Yes, we do. Okay, let's stick in the... Oh, crap. We're going to have to scroll. Oh, bugger. Piston rings. Sure, actually, might probably be better off... Oh, I've gone to all this effort to put the engine the right way up and forgot I've got to do pistons first, and then that's probably going to be easier doing it from this angle. Oop, and... There we go. Part mount. Right, perfect. I remember how to play this game. There's a lot more scrolling when you're doing performance. I guess if I had a 4-cylinder engine, it probably wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, a lot more scrolling with this than you would have light. Oh, careful. Click on the right bits is generally helpful. Yeah, and some piston rings. That side. And some more. It's not quite as efficient. It's not quite as efficient as I would like this custom stuff. I guess that's kind of the downside of having everything repaired with these. Thankfully, I got enough piston rings out of all that. I'm quite surprised. What did I definitely got a broken alternator. So far, that's what I do know that we have broken in this. We're going to have all the crankshaft bearings, by the looks. Did we break any rod caps? How far can I get through this kind of rebuild, this throwing back together, before we run into a point where I've broken something? Or something that's not going to be able to be performance-ified. No, we're going to have all of the rod caps here. It's going to be something really stupid. And now I've said that as a challenge. I say as a challenge, as a mini guesstimation game for you guys. It's going to be like the oil pan or something. Please don't be the oil pan. Please don't be the oil. Thank God for that. Now I've said that, it's always going to end up being. Well, it's going to be the next thing. It's probably not going to be as far down the line as I would like. Right. These are lovely and shiny. In fact, so shiny that trying to get the camera in the right point so I don't... Oh, missed. No, wrong one. Go away. Go away. I missed tightening a bolt, so I decided to take the entire thing off. Misclick. That's not something that usually happens with engines. I'll be honest. Oh, we're going to go round again. Yeah, it's a fairground ride on its own. Bloody engine stand. Oh, that's not what I wanted to click on. That's what we wanted. Right. That... God, that is such a shiny engine. I think we could do a better job with positioning the lights around here, I'll be honest. We could have, and we could make it an easier time for ourselves. Stop blinding ourselves on the engines that we are working on. Intake manifold for V8. Over that side we go with the camshafts. Yeah, again, in my experience of working with engines, I've never had to try and carefully position myself so I am not blinded by lights reflecting off said engine. There's just not something that you come up against very often, I will be honest. Oh, bugger. Spark plugs are another one. There. Yeah, that is a inconvenience with these that I didn't... Oh, why wouldn't it have the performance parts first? I don't know. That would make life so much easier. Oh, we are in part... Spark plug, go. Mount... A proper one. One of these. That's more like it. And fuel rail. Where's the fuel rails in? While we're going across. Oh, it was a DR, not a... I'm an idiot. My bad. It was one of these. I should have known better. Well, the other ones weren't too expensive. Plus, I've got 10 million, so don't really care about slightly incorrect fuel rail on them. Right. Cam gears. Are these all repaired? They are... Have we got the timing chains, timing belts? Yes, we do. Again, nothing we can do in terms of performancing these lot up. Like some of the things like the alternator and so on, the power gain is not so much, the alternator actually giving the thing power, it's that it's less resistance, so it's not losing power essentially to run them, so it kind of makes sense with some of those. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could potentially have, like I say, belts and so on wouldn't make much difference. A water pump, I would have thought we would have been able to have a performance version, and especially, like, it would be interesting to see if you go and build these high-power engines, if you needed to upgrade, like, cooling systems and that sort of thing to go with it, rather than just, percentage increases. could make for an interesting addition to bits and pieces on this game. As it is, yeah, I mean, the upgrading is get as many parts as you can and shove it in the engine, and then that's good. I know it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but there could be a little bit more to it. I mean, this game is kind of quite well suited to that sort of thing. I guess there is limitations still to what we can do, seeing as we don't. Oh, piss! Seeing as we don't have like oil systems and whatnot as a thing so much here, but yeah, still would be interesting to see us having to deal with those. I've said for a long time that I would like to see a way to fail with these cars. One of the struggles, I say one of the struggles with Car Mechanic Simulator is that you can't fail with building the vehicles. Oh Christ, that light, that's going to be real awkward to put the stuff on here. No, piss again. Yeah, I would like to see as a, you know, the game won't let you drive a car if it's missing parts. It would be fun to see the game, like, force you, or not force you to have everything. Like, if you try and drive the car without having to put oil in it, you can break stuff completely. Or if you tried to, you know, run the vehicle without a radiator, maybe you forgot to put the radiator back on a car, you'd have it run for a little while and then explode and then do a huge amount of damage to the sort of engine components and so on. Like, that would be quite, I think, a more interesting way in some respects than just, yeah, everything has to be on the car to make it run. I would like to see that as a direction almost that this game could end up going down, as it is. Yes, fairly straightforward. That will be the throttle. Kind of looks like one of those. The old medical masks from like the medieval times that they had. Okay, it's not got a long enough nose for it, but yeah, it's kind of slightly freaky, the throttle on the car, I'm not going to lie. Flywheel, clutch will go on, and then we will have our engine complete, our shiny, mostly shiny, I say mostly shiny, bloody shiny in a lot of places, red engine, and the entire thing was repaired, all performance parts. I think only a spark plug and the alternator were buggered from all of that. So, good going by my mechanicking. How much power that engine is going to produce? Not quite sure. But going to hazard a guess, certainly by the time we put in all the exhausts and so on, that is going to be, yeah, plenty of power for our BMW. We are going to leave it there, though. So, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.